is Dr. Gigi Sabat, and you're listening to the Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Christopher Salem. Welcome to the show. Back to the show.
Dr. Gigi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure, as always, to be here.
Always an honor to speak with you, Christopher. Now, catch us up to speed and where you are now, and any updates.
Well, it has been a busy since February of this year up until the end of, I would say about the end of May, early June. I've been traveling. I was on the road quite a bit, speaking at conferences and doing workshops and consulting on site. So it's good to be in for a little bit to kind of regroup and rest up a little bit. So it starts back up in August. So.
That is absolutely incredible. And you are a part of a few agencies, correct? A few speaker agencies. I believe one of them you and I are both a part of.
Yeah, with Mindy, with Barron Ridge. Also a couple other speaker bureaus. And yes, believe it or not, I actually place myself most often myself directly. So I've learned how to do that very, very well.
Yes, that's right. Barron Ridge Speakers Agency, absolutely phenomenal experience.
Barron Ridge is great.
Yes, Mindy is awesome as well. Now, tell us a little bit more about your experience as a Barron Ridge speaker.
Well, as a Barron Ridge speaker, it's just that Mindy just does a great job. She understands her speakers. She makes the effort to truly know who they are. She knows the different organizations and entities. In terms of what's important to them, what are their challenges that can be better, what are the results they're seeking, and doing best to make the right alignment with the speakers that would align to those particular types of organizations. So, she really strives to create a win-win situation. In this case, more than a win-win, a win-win-win, because it's you, it's her, it's the speaker, and it's the entity organization that she's placing the speaker with. So it's really remarkable. She does a great job doing that.
Yes, she does. Beautiful soul. And now, Christopher, you speak a lot, and you speak in various locations. What are some of the subjects that you talk about?
Well, my area of specialty is on emotional intelligence as it applies to, in this case, in the business world. So when I'm speaking at industry B2B, B2C conferences, companies, it could be around leadership development, team development, communication skill enhancement. Could be around customer experience, sales acceleration, revenue and profit acceleration, change management, conflict resolution. It could be around diversity, inclusion, any of those particular areas. But it's always where the emotional intelligence is the foundation. And I have a knack in the area of communication where I share with groups and how we can, how you can become a master communicator, even right down to personality, generational, and culture and ethnic types.
I love it. Emotional intelligence, such a powerful subject. And I've also read the book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0 and Beyond Emotional Intelligence by Dr. Drew Gold. Both are very powerful books. And when we talk about emotions, Christopher, what if an individual has a difficult time facing the emotions or allowing themselves to feel the emotions? What message do you have for that individual?
Well, I would say that a lot of times if you have a difficulty, assessing your emotions, take time to talk to somebody that can maybe help you flush that out. Many times if you have a difficult time processing emotions, it's because you're not sure of what those emotions are. Maybe perhaps you stuffed these emotions. When I use that word stuff, meaning that you either neglected to look at these things when they were happening. You might have gone through maybe some trauma. You could have went through a tough upbringing, and you kind of just stuffed those feelings down. Now, as a result of it, sometimes if they've been stuffed so much, you're not even sure what you're really even experiencing, other than you're frustrated, you're angry, you're overwhelmed, you have a level of anxiety. So it's good to kind of flush out what those feelings are, what those emotions are, and better yet, what is the root cause to them. So for me, it was anger. I had extreme amounts of anger growing up. And at the time, I didn't realize all these things that I thought were bringing the anger. I thought it was, somebody cutting me off in traffic, or somebody didn't do what they said they were going to do. Those were just triggers. It all went back to my father, just that lack of validation that I didn't get growing up from my father. That's where it could all be traced to. And I didn't realize that until I had gone through this process where meditation, journaling, amongst other things, those two being the core, really allowed me to go on a deeper level to kind of come to terms with it, but now release it and not just say, oh, I forgive you or I forgive myself, most importantly, but release it, all that energy from every cell in my body, because the body sometimes will hold on to things, even though we've let it go up here, it's still in the body, and you got to let it go everywhere. And if you're truly going to move forward and move onward. So you have more self-awareness and more self-regulation to control your emotions and how to respond versus react to other people and situations.
That's very true. And I believe staying true to God's character during those times is so important, because everything is a decision. You can choose to be angry or not. Mindset, right? It's a decision.
Correct. Absolutely. So yeah, and it's ongoing, Gigi. It's not something that you flip a switch, and it's not something once you've gotten good, you've gotten more in control of it, that you've arrived or graduated. It's always progress in motion. I've been doing this for 26 plus years. And every day I step up like it was just yesterday when I started. I don't miss a day, and I never take things for granted. Always having always being humble and grateful for where I was and now where I am today.
That's incredible, Christopher. Now, oftentimes during this lifetime, folks will face challenges. What message do you have for someone who may be ready to give up at this time in their life? What message do you have for that individual?
Well, I would say you're not alone. Everybody, I don't care who it is, I don't care what age they are, what background they come from, what country they're from, what gender they're from, everybody has challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. It's learning to change our attitude towards it. It's be able to look at the challenge and obstacle for what it is, not what you think it should be. When you could truly start to shift your thinking away from what you think it should be, your opinion and perception, nothing wrong with that. But see it for what it is. Don't conform, but accept it for what it is, and now adapt to maximize what you can control with it. See challenges, obstacles, setbacks as necessary to grow and expand, because without going through a challenge or obstacle, more likely you're not going to realize achieving your objectives or most desired results, and then you'll be more grateful and appreciative of the process when you do it. Look at the challenge to the obstacle as part of the process, embrace it, and operate from your intentions, because you can operate and control intentions. You can't control expectations. Expectations are caught up in outcomes to other people in situations that are beyond your control. Shift your thinking and energy towards what you can control, and that's your intentions. Trust the process, embrace the challenge, or the term that a lot of people like to use, embrace the suck, so to speak. See it through. It'll be a far more rewarding experience when you come out on the other side victorious. Doesn't mean you're always going to win, but I always say you always win and you always learn. That's it.
I love it.
Learn and win. Eventually you're going to win. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to keep losing, or I don't even look at it as losing. You're learning. You're going to get the wins.
I love it. Trust the process. Have a positive mindset, and also positive attitude, and a growth mindset. Very powerful.
Yeah, see it happening for you, not to you. When it happens to you, you're the victim. You use excuses. You deflect how you feel onto others. You gossip and complain. Now, if you're gossiping and complaining about your situation to other people, more than likely you see it happening to you. You got to change and look at it. It's happening for you, no matter how difficult the situation. Again, you are not alone. And it just because people look like they got their life together and they're having success doesn't mean that it took them a long time to get there. And it doesn't mean that they don't have their other share of challenges elsewhere in their life. We all have them. There's no escaping.
That's right. Christopher, what projects are you currently working on? What can we expect in the future?
Right now, I'm working on a variety of different company, corporate, business projects. I'm working with a lot of individuals now in the area of emotional intelligence as it applies to communication. I have a knack of turning passive communicators into assertive communicators, especially those that are over explainers, and so that they can now speak in more. I teach them how to speak and talk and write like a checklist, not like a paragraph. So it's a big difference. And And so I'm able to do that individually as a team. So it reflects favorably in stronger rapport and trust with building relationships with their team members, their supervisors, their clients, customers, and it reflects in the KPIs. You become a better communicator, a better active listener, and it starts to reflect in all the different things. So I'm working on a lot of projects on that in an individual and a team level right now. And then the speaking at conferences around that topic, amongst other things, is what leads me to getting a lot of these opportunities.
I love it. Thanks so much for sharing, Christopher. Now, do you have any last words for the audience?
Yeah, I would just say that again, everything is happening for you. Just trust the process. I always like to say, just keep showing up. That's the hardest part. Show up, embrace the process, do your part, be accountable, give without expectation and receive without resistance. When it comes around and fills your cup and it serves you, fill it up and keep spilling on to others in a good way. And if you do your part, your faith, your God, your religion, your spirituality, whatever you want to call it, will do its part. But you got to do your part.
Amen. Very powerful. Thank you so much, Christopher. And thanks for being a guest on the Walk With Me podcast. Where can the audience find you?
Best place to find me would be on LinkedIn at Christopher Salem. I love to connect with people there. And I have two websites. My business website for acceleration is at sustainablesuccess.net. And then my speaker subject matter expert site is just my name, ChristopherSalem.com.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Christopher on his website and all of his social media platforms. And Christopher, thank you again so much for being a guest back on the show, Welcome Me Podcast. We truly appreciate you.
Thanks, Dr. Gigi, for having me. A pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. God bless.